was also the beginning of the Mark Twain Zephyr from St. Louis to Burlington.
Ralph Budd and my grandfather was interested in stainless steel.
I don't know how he got in contact, but now enter part 2 of the story, the Mark Twain Zephyr.
I really hope that my first train ride is on the Zephyr.
Thanks so much for joining us for another update on MarkTwainZephyr.com, also our Facebook and our Twitter pages at Mark Twain Zephyr. It is Sunday, December 12th, 2021. I'm Robert Tabor, Director of Passenger Development for the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad, and it's great to have you along for another one of our Sunday video updates on the Mark Twain Zephyr. We start out here this week in the Effie Dean. Originally, we were going to have heat for the car come up from behind the boost. However, that plan didn't quite work out. So our plan B, and we always have a plan A, plan B, and plan C here. Our plan B was now to put the heating elements actually underneath the boost. Bob explains a little bit more about the process and some of the other developments we have going on this week up here at the railroad.
All of the registers and the heaters are all in. I got them all up and running. Just make sure everything is going good. It's just temporarily wired in. I got to come back and tie it all into this. This is a control that John had built for us.
Yeah, we got to see that on one of our...
Yeah, I just have to tie them into the controls. And the heat is done and ready to go in here.
And this is the last car for the heat, besides the engine?
Correct. And then that way, next week it's supposed to be warm. Trying to get everything ready so I can tile the floors in here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be in the 50s.
Yeah, because underneath here, all of the holes are in the floors for where the toilets and that are going to go.
Okay.
I just didn't want to open them up until the very end to keep the cool air out of here. Mm-hmm. So once this is tiled, there's really not a lot left in here neither to finish things up. This one's going to be a little bit different. We're going to put the water heater in the water heater and a holding tank in here for the bathrooms.
Okay.
The other cars, the Huckleberry and the Tom Sawyer, I had existing tanks that we could use.
Okay.
There's going to be a water tank on this end here for the bathrooms. There's no room underneath here, and there never has been one under here. But there's also going to be a water tank for the back end, for the bar area and the dishwasher and all of that. But there's a tank to go there. It's just too far to travel with the water during cold weather.
Is it because the car was built a few years later and was part of the Pioneer Zephyr? There's some differences, or is it just not necessarily?
I couldn't tell you, and I'm sure it's more likely than not because it was built differently. Everything, the windows were a little bit different. There were a lot of variations, but I mean, we could run the water because obviously this is where they had the bathrooms. And there's spots down there where they had 2 tanks. It was just, what kind of weather did they run them in? They might not have had to have a bigger concern as we do. We're dealing with, 20, 30 below in the winters.
That's true.
Even the cars that we do have, gets to a certain point, and it's really, really hard to keep things from freezing.
Do you want to show us all the wiring and explain a little bit
Sure.
about the heat and some of that? All right, so show us the heating, because it's nice. People at home can't tell, but it is nice and toasty.
It's real
20 degrees outside, but it is maybe 70?
These, because we originally had heaters in here, but it didn't work out. They were built with the intentions that the heat that we put in there would rise up through the backs.
So the holes that we're looking at here.
Yes, but I don't know if it was a miscommunication or whatever, but it didn't work out. We took off the wall what we had on the wall.
Okay.
And then
Now you're putting in the heaters.
yes, those have little blowers in them. They work really, really well.
It is toasty. My feet are nice and warm.
Yeah.
And so what are all the different wires? There's
Well,
red and black and red.
It all has to be on, because everything is three-phase.
Okay.
So you can only have so much on a breaker, and it's done in sections. There's three-phase breakers that run all of the heaters in here, and it's broken down into thirds.
Okay. Oh, okay.
and you know, this from where you're standing between your feet to those back there is all a circuit, and then these here down to the middle.
They just put these boosts back in. They have to take the boost off.
Yeah,
Put them back in.
well, because we ran all the wire through there. We got all the baseboards down in there in between them. But
does that mean we're gonna have heated seats in the Effie Dean?
No.
Oh, okay.
Only if you eat too much.
Nice and warm.
Only if you eat too much chili, your seat will be heated.
Boy. Oh.
And then the only spot where I don't have heat yet is we got two in the hall out here by the bar. I'm gonna put down where that water pump is. I'm gonna get a heater back there, and I'm gonna try and put one in here. Just otherwise, the plumbing comes right down them exterior walls. It's gonna be cold back there. It's gonna be cold on your feet.
You got to keep the bartender warm, Bob.
Well, I'm leaving that alone.
Right.
But for the most part, I mean, just with these two running in here, it's keeping this whole back area warm.
Yeah, it's still pretty warm.
But it won't. We need heat back there. Those are the only two that aren't in, and they'll be in probably real quick here. Just ain't sure how I'm going to get them in, because when I start putting a tank underneath this side, I'm going to have to cut some holes in the floor, and at that point is when I'll pull the wires up for those heaters also. Just try to, do all of the underneath the car work at one shot. Now that it's getting cold, instead of half a day here, half a day there, just do it all in one.
I think you have one day above freezing next week, next Wednesday. Mark it on your calendar.
We have more than one day above freezing, because that's when I'm going to tile all that down there, and then I'm going to tile the vestibule in the huck, because it's such a small area for me to crawl around on my knees. I can do like the hallway, and I can get into the bathrooms, but for me to kneel and reach into the bathroom and tile out, my feet are into the other bathroom, so I got to do it in stages and kind of let things dry so I don't move it around.
Right. Well, we'll be out here next week, and I'm sure we'll get some video of you doing that. So
You sure will.
I heard we're going to head over to the Tom Sawyer now. What do we got this week, Bob?
Well, everything in here now is all on switches. A lot of the lights were just operated by the breakers. And everything is good to go now. But oh gee, let's see. People are still turning. Oh no, I have to. People have, but the door frames, the doors are in. These are kind of a bit of a challenge. There wasn't much room to work with. Trying to keep some of the originality of the stainless steel frames. So it's a frame inside of a frame. And
what kind of wood did you use for the...
This is that panel board.
Oh, panel board.
Okay. This is oak. And just everything else. All of the trim is done for in here. I got little, in these corners here, there's trim that goes around the ceiling, and a piece that goes in there. That's the same design as that part underneath there.
Ah. So all match in this little...
Yeah.
This was, for people who don't know or haven't been following us, these were the... these areas were actually luggage racks when we first started on the Tom Sawyer.
Yeah, none of these windows were here.
And you put the windows in, and you did turn these kind of into a little kind of small private area here. Yeah. And then now it's just the small finishing touches up here. And that's going to be in a couple weeks ahead. You're going to be doing that?
Yeah. In a couple weeks ahead here, this will all be trimmed out. I mean, it is. This car is pretty much down to just a couple small little piddly things, a few small things out in there too. Some trim. There's trap doors that go in here for access to, because we got to access the internals of the air conditioning. So that drops down.
We got the lights in, the new vestibule light there.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Got lights in down there. That door down there is just about done. And I think the ceiling was in last time you were here.
Yep. So what are you? I see piles of pieces.
That's the trim strips that goes around the top of the ceiling.
Okay.
This door, I can go show it to you. This door is all done and made and ready to go.
And what was in here originally, and what are we going to be using this for?
This will just be a closet for us.
Okay. What was it? Do you remember what was in here originally?
I think it was a closet.
Just
I'm pretty sure it was a closet.
And that's an exhaust pipe? I was also
No, yeah, that one is an exhaust.
So maybe they had something in here. That's interesting. I never.
Stowaways.
Stowaways can climb in.
Fresh air for the stowaways.
Nice. Okay. So a lot of fine details is going to.
Yeah, but it's besides these two little areas here, it's done. I mean, and it's a good feeling to. The Effie Dean where we were with the heat and all of that.
Yeah.
Next week I'll be tiling the foyer and the floors in there, and I mean that's getting pretty close to being done. Now that we got heat in there.
Look, it's the Doors.
This is
not the musical group. What Bob made.
This is just like I said down in the end of Tom Sawyer by that electrical room where that other closet is. You know, this is different than the bathroom doors. Because the bathroom doors went in from the inside of the bathroom, down in that entranceway. This is, because there's 3 doors down there. You got your exit door, you got the door going into the electrical room. That was easy to do because there were no walls there. We put them walls up so I could frame the door in. So I made this drop-in frame. When this is in, it'll match. It'll look like it was done the same way as the door next to it. I didn't want to have a little hallway with 3 doors and each one of them done different. Mm-hmm. So this way the 2 doors for the electrical, the door for the electric room and the door for that closet will match. And then outside the exit door is the same as all of the other ones.
And the doors, you kept the same size as the original Mark Twain?
For the most part. The entrance and exits and all of that, those are all the exact same. The bathroom might be, maybe an inch narrower. Maybe an inch and a quarter narrower. This one here will probably be about an inch and a quarter narrower. I'm a big guy. I can fit through them. I mean, you're a train fan, Robert, and is there ever really a big doorway on a train to get
Not
it?
Really, no.
No.
Even on Amtrak, it's small. Yeah.
Right. So I'm the test if I can fit through it.
That's why I keep you around.
That's right, man.
And well fed.
That is correct. I'm the door tester. But no, this one will be in this, maybe even yet today.
Okay. Wow.
But just moving along, catching up. When it's too cold to work outside and some of the other stuff, I'm doing these small piddly things. And then when we get a couple warm days like what we're going to have next week, I got to do a bunch of stuff that's outside. And it'll be like that throughout the winter.
All right.
That's the way we've done it for years.
Very cool. Thanks so much.
Hey, have a happy holidays.
You too.
Over the next 3 weeks, while our crews enjoy some time with their family, we have a special speaker series that will air during our Sunday updates. Here's a quick look at the lineup that we have for December 19th, next Sunday, also December 26th and January 2nd. We'll meet some of the relatives of pivotal players in the building and design of the Zephyrs, including relatives of Edward Budd, of the Budd Company, CB&Q President Ralph Budd, as well as Albert and Walter Dean's relative as well. They were the designers of the Mark Twain Zephyr and many of the Budd cars and the Zephyrs. So we hope you'll tune in for that. Again, that's December 19th, next Sunday, December 26th, and January 2nd. On behalf of myself, the owners of the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad, and all our staff and crew, we wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a wonderful New Year. And thanks again for tuning in, and we look forward to our speaker series and seeing you in the new year. Come up here and ride the Mark Twain Zephyr. Have a great week. Great holidays, everybody.
Thanks so much for joining us for another update on the Mark Twain Zephyr at the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad. Before you leave, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can do this by clicking on the red subscribe button. That way, you'll be among the first to know when we post our next update. And be sure to check out marktwainzephyr.com, where we post additional content during the week. You can also watch previous update videos you might have missed. We are also on Facebook and Twitter at Mark Twain Zephyr.
It was so far ahead of its time. It was going to be made out of stainless steel.
Did he design the whole
He designed the whole train.
Times the Mark Twain Zephyr was so crowded, she would have to stand between Lucy and him.
The stainless steel cars, and at that age and young, and how bright it was, and